All right, welcome in Friday now, February the 23rd. We're looking at, 16 games, I guess, on the college basketball slate here tonight. Not the biggest of cards. However, tomorrow will prove to be another over-the-top weekend in college basketball. But let's see if we can find a couple of edges in a few of these games for you. And we'll do it with three of the best here at WagerTalk. As R1L, Steve Merrill back in the house, as is Bryan, Leonard, and Rob Vino, ready to roll here. And it's good to see you up and awake, Merrill, after that amazing effort by your William and Mary yesterday.
I saved the stat sheet for Ski Profit here. We got it right here. These are the usual suspects. It's all crumpled up because they'd gone in a recycling bin, but...
Wait, yeah. There are stats for William and Mary last night? Because I don't think we had any.
It's not user friendly. It's blank, but it's they got the photos.
Woo! A lot
Most
of zeros
these guys you will not see
next
year. This will be a totally different photo sheet. Coaching staff included most likely next year. So what's it worth, Bob? Should I save it? You're a collector.
Woo! You may want to initial it as you were the only one at that game last night.
True.
Besides Ski Profit in spirit.
Very true.
But the good news is we do have 16 games to choose from here tonight, and we're going to see if we can't find a couple of angles for you. And you're going to start us off with a big game breakdown, and you are going to head into that Rust Belt area. So Toledo taking on BG Bowling Green. Interesting matchup here. How are you looking at it?
Yeah, if Ski Profit can pick a CAA game from Vegas, and I figure on the East Coast here, I can do a MAC game in honor of Bryan Leonard, who lives in Vegas. It's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. But it's Friday, little MAC attack here, and we're going to look at Toledo at Bowling Green. And one thing I love to do in these second meetings is to dig into the box score. You know, we talk about revenge a lot, but for me, it's more about looking at the first meeting, trying to find maybe some abnormalities that'll, change itself. Normally we look at sides, and the revenge does favor Bowling Green here. They lost by 16 in the first game. A little concerned, though, that they shot 47.5% from the field and still lost, but they were -9 from three-point range. But it's not enough to get me on the side. But what it does do is point out the total, and I think there's value with the over once again. We're not going to play the zigzag here. There was 160 points scored in that meeting on January 27th, only at 62 at halftime. Both teams shot lights out from the field, 56 and 48%. As I mentioned, normally that would be a reason to go the other way. But Bowling Green was only 8 for 23 from three, just 34.5%. Toledo, 11 for 26, a little bit above average. But they only attempted 17 and 7 free throws. And that's where I want to go in this analysis, because on the season, Bowling Green does a very good job of getting to the line. 23 times on average they get to the charity stripe. And they only got there 7 times on the road. So I'd look for a lot more free throws. They did dominate down low. That's one of the reasons both teams shot well from the field. And Toledo also gets to the line 21 times on average this season, including 22 times on average on the road. And they only got there 17. So we only had 24 free throw attempts. Probably should have been in the 40s. You're talking about another maybe 15 points on a game that still totaled 160. So there's plenty of wiggle room. I like the over here. And oh, by the way, about half an hour ago, as I was preparing to talk about this game on the show, we saw the WagerTalk live odds screen light up like Rob Vino's Christmas tree in the corner of his office. 155.5 up to 158.5, even 159 now. Sharp money's on the over, but I agree with that move at 7 o'clock Eastern.
All right, expecting some points here tonight in that one. We do have another interesting game here tonight with Big Red looking for a little revenge at home, taking on Yale, Bryan Leonard. And, this first matchup between these two, Cornell pretty much beat him the entire game until, right at the very end, and then they ended up losing. But it's a small number. I think 1.5, 2 is what we're looking at now. Can Cornell shoot their way into a victory this time and hold off the Yale Bulldogs?
Yeah, it's a Friday, and Fridays are traditionally, for guys as old as us, the Ivy League. And we've got a good one here. They're playing for first place in this conference. It's been a hell of a conference season for the Bulldogs. They just suffered their first Ivy League loss of the season 6 days ago at Penn. That loss broke a 10-game winning streak. Even though they're 8-1 and tied for the lead in the conference, and have a 17-7 record, they've been basically a 500 spread team this season. They haven't been a moneymaker. Normally when you see teams with good records like that, they've covered more games than they haven't. That's not the case with Yale. They're about a 500 team. Cornell has the better record, 19-4, but also that 8-1 in conference play. The only loss for the Big Red was an 80-78 defeat at Yale. So that's the only game they've lost. So they got a little bit of revenge here. This is a great shooting team with an effective field goal percentage of 57.5. That's really good. And you get a team playing at home, especially on an undefeated home court. That's the way I've got to take a look at. And they're playing good ball right now. They've covered 8 out of the last 9 overall. You got the better shooting team playing at home in revenge with an undefeated home court. One way to look here, I thought the line was going to be probably 4. We're getting 2. That's enough to get me on Cornell here.
All right, Cornell it is. We can get a little revenge. It's a battle here between the top teams, and we got a couple of spots like that on this light card here tonight. We'll head to Connecticut here, where Rob Vino is going to talk a little bit here about the Stags of Fairfield taking on the Bobcats of Quinnipiac, otherwise known as the MAC. And you lean one way or another in what is mostly a toss-up price here. I'm seeing 3s now, 2.5 to 3, maybe Quinnipiac here. What do you think we're going to get? We've already seen this game, too, so this is round 2 between these two squads.
Yeah, look at me going off the big game breakdown board that's sent to us, Joe, and coming up with a MAC game on my own. Sorry to the production crew that I just disregarded what they sent and went off on my own here. But this is a big game, right? Quinnipiac's in first place. Fairfield's in second place. As far as MAC play is concerned, 2 teams, in-state rivalry, so to speak. Even though it's a low major, they do go after each other a little bit. Quinnipiac opens up here -2.5, 159.5 to total, up to 3 and 158. So the numbers push down a little bit. This game, again, it's essentially for first place in the MAC right now. If Quinnipiac wins this game, they have a minimum 2-game lead with 4 to play inside that conference. That would be dependent upon what Niagara does this evening as well. But as far as Fairfield is concerned, a loss here basically puts them out of the running for the number 1 seed. They would then be 3 games back. They would have lost twice to Quinnipiac. So important game for both sides here. First contest was a 66-64 Quinnipiac win in Fairfield, Connecticut, about, 10, 12 minutes from where I grew up in Norwalk. The Fairfield shot just 5 of 26. This is important here. I think 19% from 3. It's only important because it's the best 3-point shooting team in the conference. So they were held way below their 40% average on the season in MAC play, held to 19.2%. A little bit of Quinnipiac defensive effectiveness, a little bit of Fairfield poor shooting. You wouldn't think so in a home game, right? You're supposed to shoot better in your home gym. So to me, that stuck out a little bit as maybe Quinnipiac has the perimeter defense to keep Fairfield quiet, or at least the focus. They're both good offensively, excuse me, both really good offensively. Quinnipiac, obviously the faster tempo team. I think they rank like 20 in the nation where offensive adjusted tempo is concerned. But defensively, there's some separation here. Quinnipiac has played really, really well defensively inside the conference. If you just take effective field goal percentage for Quinnipiac, only allowing 48.7 on the season in league play. The other side, 52.9. It's almost a 5-point gap. That's huge. Fairfield ranks 10th out of an 11-team league in effective field goal percentage allowed. I like the bounce back effect here for Quinnipiac, which, believe it or not, guys, they were 8-0-2 against the spread in their first 10 MAC League games. And now they've lost 2 in a row, straight up and to the spread. So the Sunday game against Niagara, I did watch. And Niagara, in the end, actually the last 8 minutes really took it to them. So, you got the best team in the league, standings-wise, in some cases statistically, off of a home loss to a team that's chasing them in the standings. And now they get another shot to redeem themselves right back at home here 5 days later against an in-state rival. I just think the price was a little bit too low. Quinnipiac shoots free throws really, really well. If you're in a close game, tight, late, And we saw some bad free throw shooting in that Arizona State-Washington game last night down the stretch. You want good free throw shooters. I think Quinnipiac has enough here to win this game by more than 3. So that's the way I would look at it here for big game breakdown. Quinnipiac at home, -3 over Fairfield.
One might accuse you of just liking to say the word Quinnipiac, which is why you chose that game, Rob Vino. But that's fine. Quinnipiac laying the 3, getting it done here tonight. A lot of you're starting to catch a sense of a lot of number 1 versus number 2s at this part of the program here, guys. And tomorrow's going to be even crazier. So now would be a good time for you to head over to WagerTalk.com, visit Steve Merrill as well as Bryan Leonard and Rob Vino. They'll tell you what they got locked, loaded already today for tonight, but just not tonight, of course, all weekend long. Another huge card coming your way. And we'll swing it back here to Steve Merrill, who no doubt, and I like this best bet you chose here, because quietly, one of these teams has actually been a pretty good moneymaker this season, but you're probably going to blow that right out of the water now, and now we'll never make money with them again. So go ahead and tell us exactly what you got rolling here tonight, Merrill, and what is your best bet?
Yeah, first of all, I had one college best bet last night. It cashed. Tonight, I've got one NBA best bet. I'm very selective. Over the past year, I average about 2 plays a day, and it's been working. Hasn't hurt the units won at all. In fact, number 1 in college and pro basketball sides, units won for the entire season. Number 1 in 2024 all sports on side selections, and in the 2022 and 23 combined, number 1 in all sports at WagerTalk. So the selectivity model works, and I point that out for another reason. That means the free plays are pretty strong also, because they're games that are last cuts. My top NBA best bet tonight for clients is also available for purchase, and then I'll put my next best play for free for everybody. So check out that NBA information on my page. And while you're there, I highly recommend either the 7-day or the 1-year special. They both have discounted promo codes right now. 7-day for just about $10 a day, the 1 year for just about $1.50 per play. That's how you make money consistently and treat this as a long-term investment. Check it out, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Bonus free college play here for this show. We're going to go to the extra board tonight on Friday. And I like the home team here, Jacksonville +1 for a couple reasons. First of all, it's a revenge spot. And once again, we don't just blindly play revenge. But what I do like to play second meetings is a strong home court where they lost the earlier meeting on the road with maybe a little bit of a misleading box score. And we get all of that working for us here with Jacksonville. First of all, Jacksonville 10-1 straight up at home. They're just 13-14 overall. They have a losing spread record, but they have a winning spread record at home this year. So pretty extreme home road dichotomy. 10-1 at home, just 3-11 away. And one of those road losses was at North Florida a month ago in early January by 8. Blew a 3-point halftime lead. Both teams shot well from the field, but the difference, as is often the case in one game, was 3-point shooting. Jacksonville just 21.5%. North Florida at home 39%. It was a difference of 12 points, and they only lost by 8. And I look for them to get their revenge and play better. I think they're the better team. They're going to win this game outright. I was surprised to see the line go from Pick'em to +1 in some locations. Take a look at Jacksonville +1 here on Friday night. I also broke this game down along with a late night game on Wager Talk today. So check out that replay. Also, I'll be on Last Call tomorrow on Saturday morning, breaking down more college basketball. I'll be taking live chat questions. And don't forget, my college basketball top 25 video will be up for Saturday as well. So hit subscribe and hit that bell for instant alerts here on Wager Talk TV.
All right, good stuff there, Steve. We do have another best bet coming your way. A little late night best bet for those of us on the East Coast. Not so much for you, Bryan Leonard, but this is either going to be a great game or an absolute mauling here, and you're going to tell us which one you think it's going to be, as Nevada will be taking on San Jose State. A little Friday night Mountain West action here. Which way you leaning in this one?
Tonight, I'm looking at 3 plays in college basketball, 1 play in hockey. Get all those over at the site right now. I'm number 2 on the season in college basketball sides. I'm not the totals expert that Rob Vino is, but I do very well on sides. And in fact, last time we all got together, I went back to the Mountain West Conference, gave you UNLV in that revenge game against Air Force. So that worked out pretty well. Let's see if we can make it 2 in a row with our local Mountain West Conference here. Nevada at San Jose State. You know, the Wolfpack are known to have a very good home court. One day I'll make it up there and see a basketball game. That's I'm not Trigg. I can't travel the country here. I got a family, but it is something that I look forward to, is going up there and being able to check out that stadium there and see what's happening up there. I've heard really good things. But this team's been pretty good on the road as well this season. A 5-3 straight up mark on the road. Last 2 times out on the road, they beat UNLV and Utah State, 2 pretty good teams in the last week that they've beaten on the road. They've got a solid defense, which is why this is such a good road team. 47.8 effective field goal percentage. That's a team you want to back on the road, a team that plays defense. Overall, 6 of the last 7 games, the opposition hasn't surpassed 66 points against the Wolfpack. Last time we talked about Air Force being so bad. Well, they're right there with San Jose State. In fact, that's the bottom 2 teams in the conference. San Jose State is 2-12 in the league action. The 2 wins coming against very same Falcons we talked about the other day. So the only 2 victories they've gotten all season are from the worst team in the conference. Against the upper half of this Mountain West Conference, this team has continually been blown away by double digits. The Spartans are a real defensive advantage here, or defensive disadvantage here, is they allow 54% effective field goal percentage numbers. And when you're that bad defensively, it doesn't matter if you're at home or if you're on the road, it's going to lessen your home court advantage. And that's why I don't want any part of San Jose State here. They're playing a team that plays much better defense than they do. And even though the line's 10, I think there's a little bit of value here on Nevada. I made the line 12 in this one. So give me the Wolfpack on the road to continue the dominance over the lower part of this conference here in the Mountain West.
All right, looking for Nevada to continue to roll here. Can't wait to see the Mountain West tourney. Should be a lot of fun here to see who comes out of that one. I do think it's wide open here with some of those teams. We do have, of course, one final best bet here from one Mr. Rob Vino, who no doubt. Oh, I like this one too, Vino. Look at this. All right, so you're going to be heading way up there with Niagara and Canisius. So before you give us the winner of this game here tonight, make sure you tell the folks what you got going on over at WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, WagerTalk.com. Interesting, Joe. College basketball season. We're here in late February, and I had not even had 4% play the entire year until last night. The Ohio State-Minnesota game up and over the total, just trying to take advantage of Jake Diebler's switch in philosophy to play more tempo, and certainly that game came through with flying colors. So as we head into the conference tournament season now, we'll be looking at more bigger plays of the 4% best bet variety. As for tonight, it's going to be mostly an NBA card, 3 NBA selections up and available as soon as we finish here from NBA action, which again, got a lot of back-to-backs in that league tonight as they get back from the All-Star break. But we like the NBA card pretty well tonight. So we're going to go ahead and release those. You can find them all at WagerTalk.com on my homepage. I feel like I should have a little bubble up to this side of me here with Trigg's head in it, because I've got 2 MAC games today. He would be so proud looking over me and probably correcting everything I say, because he knows the conference inside and out. But I'm going to go to this Niagara at Canisius game here tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, and I think I talked to you guys a little bit off air after the last college hoop show we did together, that Niagara's last weekend, I watched pretty closely and came away extremely impressed with them, and almost feel like they could be the best team in this conference. What's interesting about tonight, and why you see some line movement and why you see total movement, is that Canisius' second leading scorer, C. Meitendahl, didn't play Sunday and is questionable here tonight. And I got to tell you, this is where you need Trigg, because trying to find the source of injury type news. Why is this guy out? Nobody knows why this guy is out. Does he have COVID? Does he have a broken leg? Who knows? Only he knows. He's questionable here this evening. If he plays, I still like the Niagara side, but I'm going to assume that he doesn't, just based off of the movement towards the under and the movement toward Niagara in this game. They opened a 2-point dog. They're now 1.5-point favorite. The first time they played, and this is a rivalry, Canisius and Niagara, both same area. Again, like the game we talked about prior to this with Fairfield and Quinnipiac, a rivalry type game. Niagara was down 16 in the second half and came back and won that game by 5, 21-point turnaround, which can't sit well with Reggie Weatherspoon and the Canisius group. But I think it says something about these two teams. Canisius in that game, 2 of 15 from 3, 13.3%. Immediate reaction would be, well, they probably bounce back from that and shoot better here. But Niagara was only 4 of 16, 25%. So you could make the same case for them. If that winds up being equal, still adds up to Niagara. And then, I mean, just like last night with Minnesota, I know I had that game over, Joe, because my play was based on total. But Minnesota, what are they now? 23-3 against the spread. I mean, it's just you put a blindfold on and go bet the Golden Gophers every day and make a ton of money. Where Niagara's concerned, they're 7-0, not just straight up, but against the spread on the road in MAC play. So 7 road games, 7 road covers. The last 2 were against the 2 best teams in the league, beat Fairfield, beat Quinnipiac. Every single one of those wins was by 2 points or better, which is good because you're only laying 1.5 tonight. 5 of them were by 4 points or better. The other 4 were by 9 points or better. So we're basically asking a team that hasn't lost a league road game this year to just go ahead and win straight up against Canisius here. And then we'll talk one more time about free throw shooting because I don't know that there's a game tonight where the disparity is any bigger. Niagara, from the free throw line as a team, shoots 76.7%. The other side, Canisius, is the worst team at shooting free throws in the MAC. They shoot 61.3. That's a 15.5% gap, which is monstrous in college hoop. But better than that, the 3 guys who touch the ball for Niagara, their 3 guards, if it comes down to being a close game at the end, their 3 guards all shoot between 82 and 85%. So the guys that are going to have the ball in their hands are the guys that make all the free throws. They're the guys you want. Both teams are pretty good in the defensive rebound category, one and dones. It's a huge game in the standings for Niagara. We talked about the game prior to this, Fairfield and Quinnipiac, but somebody's going to lose that game. And Niagara gets to gain a game on either one, whichever one loses, if they win here. So I expect them to be fully focused. You just can't buck their road work inside this league right now, Joe. Again, we use the phrase all the time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's nothing broke about 7-0 against the spread on the road in league play. So we'll take Niagara minus 1.5 over Canisius tonight.
All right, we're going to get it done. Battle at a Bridge here in upstate New York should be an awful lot of fun here. Again, 16 games, but, you know, a lot of meaningful action here tonight, rivalries, and that's going to take over into tomorrow as well. And speaking of number 1 versus number 2, we talked a little bit about Quinnipiac and Fairfield earlier. Rob told you that he certainly likes Quinnipiac in this one. Well, our friends from the Gold Sheet, they're going to look at the total in that game, and they are going to look towards the under in this one at 158.5. And they'll reference in that great write-up there, guys, how there was only 130 points in the first meeting and how only 2 of Fairfield's last 10 games, in fact, would have eclipsed this high total. And only 2 of Quinnipiac's last 11 games would have eclipsed this total. So first place on the line, maybe a little bit more defense, a little more effort here. Expect the intensity there and expect an under the 158.5 with Quinnipiac and Fairfield. To make sure you visit our friends at goldsheet.com. They've got more write-ups on the games, guys. It's a great tool to have, especially come tomorrow when you got over 100 games staring you in the face. And what are you looking for? Definitely check out goldsheet.com. So to recap it one more time, Niagara lay at 1.5, says Rob. Battle at a Bridge here tonight. Merrill says revenge, loves it. Jacksonville going to get it against North Florida here tonight, plus a point. Brian Leonard ain't broke, don't fix it. San Jose State is broke his ass. So Nevada will handle that no problem late at 10. And of course, the under 158.5. Quinnipiac and Fairfield with our friends from the Gold Sheet. And that will do it for us. We do have an NBA show coming your way here in just about an hour or so. Plenty to go over in that one. But in the meantime, You heard Steve Merrill tell you. You heard Rob Vino tell you. You heard Brian Leonard, lock loaded, ready to go here across all the sports here, not just today, but in a huge weekend. And let us not forget, all three of these gentlemen are definitely the go-to guys when it comes to Major League Baseball, which is also underway. So a lot going on here at WagerTalk TV. Make sure you come back and join us again on Monday for another edition of the College Basketball Show. Until then, best of luck with your plays this weekend, guys. We'll talk to you again soon. Good luck.